Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In a world where emotions can feel like turbulent waves crashing against us, how do we find our anchor? Today, we'll explore 7 Stoic lessons that hold the key to mastering our emotions and navigating life's storms with unwavering resolve. But before we begin, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video to support the continued spread of Stoic philosophy. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and activate the notification bell so you never miss a video. Let's begin. Lesson 1. See obstacles as opportunities. The world is full of challenges, from personal setbacks to global upheavals. Obstacles are an inevitable part of the human experience. But what if, instead of viewing these difficulties as burdens, we began to see them as opportunities in disguise? This shift in mindset lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics, including thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, believed that while we cannot control the external events that happen to us, we can always control how we interpret and respond to those events. This fundamental shift in perspective transforms challenges from mere setbacks into invaluable lessons, helping us grow in ways we may not have thought possible. One of Marcus Aurelius' most famous quotes perfectly encapsulates this powerful idea. "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles don't just block our progress. They become the path. Every challenge we face can propel us forward if we choose to see it as an opportunity for growth rather than as a roadblock. This Stoic mindset allows us to reframe adversity, using it as a stepping stone toward something greater. Consider a river that encounters a boulder in its path. Does the river stop? No, it adapts. It either finds a way around the boulder or slowly erodes it over time, creating a new path. The boulder, which at first appears to be an obstacle, becomes an agent of change, reshaping the river's course. This is how we should approach challenges in our own lives. Rather than being discouraged by obstacles, we should see them as forces that can help us forge new paths, create new opportunities, and become stronger in the process. In our lives, personal setbacks often seem overwhelming, but with the right perspective, they can become transformative. For instance, imagine losing a job. The initial reaction may be panic, frustration, or despair. However, over time, that job loss might lead to a completely new career path, an opportunity to upskill, or even the inspiration to start a venture of your own. What seemed like a disaster at the moment might, in fact, be the catalyst for something better. A chance to realign your life with your true purpose, or to discover strengths you didn't know you had. Relationships, too, often present us with challenges. The end of a relationship, whether romantic or platonic, can feel devastating. Yet, within that pain, there is often a seed of personal growth. The process of healing from a failed relationship can lead to self-discovery, a deeper understanding of one's values, and eventually more meaningful connections with others. Obstacles in our relationships are often opportunities to grow, to learn about ourselves, and to evolve. This Stoic perspective also fosters resilience. When we start viewing challenges as opportunities, we become more adaptable, more willing to face adversity head-on. We shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to asking, "What can I learn from this?" This subtle but powerful change in mindset helps us approach life's difficulties with curiosity and courage rather than fear and defeat. Instead of being overwhelmed by challenges, we start to see them as puzzles waiting to be solved, as paths leading us to places we never imagined we could go. It's important to note, however, that the Stoic approach to obstacles doesn't mean we should seek out difficulties or dismiss genuine hardships. Life's challenges can be painful and disruptive, and Stoicism doesn't ask us to ignore that. Instead, it invites us to recognize that within every challenge lies a hidden potential, a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Even in the face of overwhelming adversity, there is always something to be learned, some way to adapt, and some path forward. For example, consider Thomas Edison's famous response to failure. When asked about his many failed attempts to create the light bulb, Edison didn't see them as failures. Instead, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison understood that each obstacle was part of the process, an opportunity to learn, adapt, and move closer to success. His resilience in the face of failure is a testament to the Stoic principle of viewing challenges as opportunities. By embracing this mindset, we nurture the seed of opportunity hidden within every obstacle. And like the river confronting the boulder, we either find a way around, adapt, or erode the obstacle with patience and perseverance. Over time, these small shifts in perspective allow us to approach life's challenges with a sense of empowerment and hope, knowing that each setback is not the end, but the beginning of something new. Next time you face a challenge, ask yourself, how can this obstacle help me grow? What opportunities does it present? By shifting your perspective, you'll start to see life's difficulties not as things to avoid, but as paths toward your own growth, wisdom, and fulfillment. Obstacles, when embraced, can become some of our greatest teachers. Lesson 2. Understand what's in your control. Have you ever found yourself caught in a storm? Not a literal storm of rain and thunder, but a storm of life. Unexpected events, disappointments, or sudden changes that feel overwhelming? If so, you're not alone. Life's challenges often make us feel powerless, swept away by forces outside of our control. The Stoic philosophers, from ancient Greece and Rome, provide us with a simple yet profound lesson that can serve as an anchor in these moments. The dichotomy of control. Imagine this scenario. You've spent weeks planning an outdoor event, a celebration perhaps. The invitations are sent, the preparations are made, and you're excited for the big day. Then, the unexpected happens. It rains. Despite all your meticulous planning, the weather doesn't cooperate. Now you have two choices. You can become upset, lamenting the unfairness of it all, or you can adjust. You might move the event indoors, or even decide to embrace the rain and let it become part of the experience. Here's where the Stoics come in with timeless wisdom. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher born into slavery, who later became one of the most influential thinkers of his time, gave us a principle that's deceptively simple. Some things are in our control, and others are not. Though this sounds basic, within it lies a powerful truth that can change how we live. Every day, we face situations that we can't control. The weather, other people's actions, global events, or even the passing of time. But we also encounter things that we can influence: our thoughts, choices, and how we respond to those external events. The dichotomy of control asks us to separate what is up to us from what is not, and focus only on the former. Now, take a moment to reflect on a past experience when life threw you a curveball. Maybe it was a missed opportunity, like not getting the job you wanted, or a relationship that didn't go the way you hoped. At the time, it might have felt like a disaster, but as time passed, you likely gained perspective. Perhaps not getting that job led you to an even better opportunity. Or that relationship ending opened up space for personal growth. This is a perfect example of how external events, when viewed through the right lens, are not inherently good or bad. It's our judgments about them that stir our emotions. As Epictetus teaches, it's not the event itself that upsets us. It's our interpretation of the event. So how do we apply this principle in daily life? Start by asking yourself one simple question when facing a challenge. Is this something I have control over? If the answer is yes, then take action. Focus on what you can do to influence the situation in a positive way. If the answer is no, it's time to practice acceptance. Let go of the frustration and adapt to the reality of the situation. This is not passivity, it's wisdom. By focusing on what's within our control, we conserve our emotional energy and avoid unnecessary suffering. This lesson is a beacon of clarity in a chaotic world. Imagine how freeing it is to stop wasting energy on things you cannot change. Instead, you can channel your focus toward what you can shape: your thoughts, your actions, your responses. Over time, you'll find that this shift in perspective brings you a profound sense of calm. We can't control the wind, but we can adjust our sails. Stoicism encourages us to embrace the unpredictable nature of life with grace. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, life's challenges are not obstacles, they're stepping stones toward greater resilience, wisdom, and strength. In closing, remember this: life will always have its storms. The Stoic path isn't about avoiding those storms, but about learning to navigate them with clarity and composure. The dichotomy of control teaches us to focus our energy where it matters most, and to find peace in accepting what we cannot change. Lesson 3. Practice dispassion. In a world that often feels like an emotional roller coaster, the Stoic principle of dispassion may seem out of place or even counterintuitive. After all, we're constantly told that passion fuels creativity, motivates action, and gives life its color. But when the Stoics talk about dispassion, they're not advocating for indifference or emotional suppression. Rather, they're teaching us how to cultivate a balanced, grounded perspective, a way to remain calm amidst the storm, to engage with life fully, but without letting emotions dictate our responses. To understand dispassion, imagine yourself watching a gripping movie. There are moments when the tension builds, the stakes rise, and you might feel anxiety, joy, or sadness. However, a part of you knows it's just a movie. No matter how intense the plot, you don't leap out of your seat to rescue the hero or console a heartbroken character. You feel the emotions, but you remain in your seat, detached yet engaged. This is the essence of dispassion, being present in life's many dramas without getting lost in them. Stoic dispassion teaches us to observe events and emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. This doesn't mean we avoid feeling things or turn into emotionless robots. It means we can experience the full range of human emotions, joy, sadness, anger, and love, while maintaining a steady inner core. When you practice dispassion, you don't react impulsively to every emotional stimulus. You allow emotions to come and go, much like waves on the shore, without letting them sweep you away. In our modern age, this skill is more critical than ever. We live in a time of information overload, where constant news updates, social media feeds, and notifications bombard our senses daily. Reacting emotionally to every piece of information would leave us perpetually drained and exhausted. Dispassion offers a buffer between ourselves and the whirlwind of external events, enabling us to engage with the world in a sustainable and thoughtful way. Consider how practicing dispassion can transform our relationships. We've all been in conversations where emotions escalate, where a disagreement with a friend or partner quickly turns into a heated argument. In these moments, emotions can cloud judgment and lead to hurtful words or regrettable actions. Dispassion allows us to step back and observe the situation without immediately reacting. It gives us the mental space to listen more effectively, to assess the emotional landscape, and to respond with reason and empathy, rather than letting our emotions take the reins. Take a moment to reflect on your last heated conversation. Did the intensity of your emotions blur the issue at hand? Did you say or do something you later regretted? If you had practiced dispassion, you might have approached the situation differently, pausing, observing your emotions, and choosing a response that was measured and thoughtful rather than reactive. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, believed that anger is like a ruin which breaks itself upon what it falls. Dispassion, in contrast, allows us to avoid ruin and foster connection. Practicing dispassion is not about withdrawing from life's pleasures or joys. In fact, it enhances our experience of them. When we're not overly attached to outcomes or expectations, we're free to immerse ourselves fully in the present moment. By reducing the fear of loss or the anxiety of change, dispassion allows us to savor life's simple pleasures with greater clarity. We can enjoy the beauty of a sunset, a conversation with a loved one, or a personal achievement without the constant dread of what might go wrong or what might change. Cultivating dispassion begins with self-awareness, regularly checking in with ourselves, becoming aware of our emotional triggers, recognizing the patterns in our reactions, and understanding how certain situations affect us, creates a space between stimulus and response. In this space, we find the freedom to choose our reactions, to act with intention rather than impulsivity. As Viktor Frankl once said, between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. When we practice dispassion, we develop the strength to remain centered no matter what life throws at us. Whether we're faced with personal challenges, workplace stress, or interpersonal conflicts, dispassion becomes our inner compass. It guides us toward inner peace, helping us navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and grace. This doesn't mean we'll never feel pain, anger, or disappointment again, but it does mean we'll be better equipped to manage those emotions when they arise. In the realm of personal growth, Dispassion fosters emotional maturity. We learn to separate the things we can control, our actions, thoughts, and judgments, from the things we cannot, external events, the behavior of others, and the unpredictable nature of life. By doing so, we gain the power to remain calm in situations that might otherwise provoke anxiety or fear. The Stoics believe that true freedom lies in our ability to detach from outcomes and focus on what we can control. This mindset doesn't just benefit us personally, it also positively impacts those around us. When we cultivate a calm and dispassionate approach to life, we bring a sense of steadiness and clarity to our relationships, workplaces, and communities. We become a source of peace and strength for others, especially in moments of crisis or emotional turmoil. Dispassion is not detachment from life. It is engagement with clarity. It's about living fully, experiencing deeply, and yet remaining steady, knowing that the core of who we are remains untouched by the fleeting waves of emotion. By embracing dispassion, we enrich our own lives, and by extension, we bring a sense of calm and stability to those around us. As you go about your day, think of dispassion as your anchor. When emotions rise, when situations feel chaotic or overwhelming, remember that you have the power to observe, to reflect, and to choose your response. In practicing dispassion, you are not avoiding life's challenges. You are embracing them with equanimity and wisdom. Lesson 4. Reflect before reacting. In today's fast-paced digital age, where immediacy is often mistaken for efficiency and impulsivity is rewarded with likes and shares, the art of reflection can seem outdated, a relic of a slower, quieter past. Yet this very practice of pausing and pondering is one of the most powerful tools we have for navigating the complexities of modern life. The act of reflection, so central to Stoic philosophy, serves as our saving grace when we're bombarded with demands for rapid responses. Think about how often we're faced with decisions, big or small. From choosing what to eat for lunch to deciding whether to change careers, the range of choices we make daily is vast. But it's not the magnitude of these choices that matters most. It's the manner in which we approach them. Do we rush headlong into decisions, reacting impulsively to our emotions or circumstances? Or do we pause, take a breath, and consider the bigger picture before we respond? Let's delve into a common scenario many of us face. You've just read a message or email that strikes a nerve. Maybe it's a colleague questioning your work or a friend making an offhand comment that feels insensitive. Your initial gut reaction might be defensiveness, anger, or hurt. In that moment, you're ready to fire back with a sharp retort or stew in your frustration. But what if, instead of reacting on impulse, you took a step back and gave yourself space to reflect? By allowing yourself that momentary detachment, you're not suppressing your emotions or denying how you feel. Instead, you're giving your emotions the space to breathe and evolve. You're engaging with your feelings in a way that's constructive, not destructive. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, reminds us that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In that pause, in that quiet moment of reflection, you reclaim your power over your emotions. Reflection is not about passive acceptance or avoidance. It's about active engagement with your thoughts and feelings. This process requires you to ask yourself meaningful, probing questions. Why did this comment affect me so deeply? What underlying beliefs or past experiences are influencing my current emotions? Am I reacting to this present situation, or am I dragging in unresolved baggage from the past? Through this reflective inquiry, we not only gain clarity about ourselves, but we also cultivate empathy. By taking time to reflect, we can consider the perspectives of others. Maybe that colleague who questioned your work was having a stressful day and didn't intend to be harsh. Perhaps that friend who made the offhand comment didn't realize how much weight their words carried. When we pause to reflect, we open the door to understanding, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. In relationships, this practice of reflection can be transformative. How many misunderstandings could be avoided, how many arguments could be softened, and how many relationships could be strengthened if we took a few moments to reflect before reacting. When we reflect, we shift from an emotional, reactionary state to a place of clarity, compassion, and connection. Rather than lashing out or shutting down, we can respond thoughtfully, taking into account both our own needs and the needs of the other person. Beyond personal relationships, reflection is an invaluable tool in professional settings. Leaders who reflect before making decisions are often seen as wise and thoughtful, earning the respect of their colleagues and teams. When a leader reacts impulsively, they may solve a short-term problem but create long-term consequences. In contrast, a leader who takes time to reflect before reacting builds trust and lays the groundwork for decisions that endure the test of time. Their leadership is rooted in wisdom, not just efficiency. Reflection also serves as a vital safeguard against impulsivity. We've all experienced moments when a quick decision or hasty comment led to regret. In the rush to respond, we can lose sight of the bigger picture and act in ways that don't align with our values or long-term goals. The Stoics understood this well, which is why they placed such emphasis on self-control and deliberation. As Seneca said, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. By delaying our response, by reflecting before reacting, we not only avoid rash decisions, but also ensure that our actions are aligned with our highest ideals. In a world that often feels like it's moving at breakneck speed, the act of reflection becomes a form of quiet rebellion, a powerful statement that we won't be swept away by the currents of immediacy. It's a commitment to ourselves, to our well-being, and to the quality of our interactions with the world. When we reflect before reacting, we choose depth over breadth, understanding over impulsivity, and meaningful connections over fleeting interactions. Reflection is not just a practice, it's a philosophy of life. It's a journey inward, one that has profound outward implications. It shapes not only how we respond to situations, but also how we interact with the world, how we grow as individuals, and how we cultivate meaningful, lasting relationships. When we reflect before reacting, we engage with life in a way that is intentional, thoughtful, and deeply aligned with the values of Stoicism. Lesson 5. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Life is a series of moments, each with the potential to test our patience, resilience, and sense of perspective. From the trivial frustrations of spilled coffee to more substantial challenges like disagreements with loved ones, we encounter countless situations that evoke a wide range of emotions. In the heat of these moments, it's all too easy to feel overwhelmed, as though the present difficulty is the most important thing in the world. A missed deadline, a sharp comment from a friend, or even a forgotten anniversary. These things can weigh heavily on us, dominating our thoughts and emotions. However, Stoicism offers a simple yet profoundly powerful tool to put things in perspective. The question, will this matter in 5 years? This question acts like a mental time machine, allowing us to fast forward and look back at the present moment from a distant future. Suddenly, what seems urgent and overwhelming in the here and now, the argument, the missed opportunity, the unexpected disappointment, takes on a different significance. With the clarity of hindsight, we can ask ourselves whether this particular setback or frustration will still have a lasting impact on our lives 5 years down the road. The answer is often no. When you reflect on the worries and challenges you faced 5 years ago, how many of them still occupy your thoughts today? How many of them still affect your life in any meaningful way? Chances are, most of the things that once felt like mountains to climb have since faded into obscurity, replaced by new experiences, new lessons, and new memories. This realization can be both humbling and liberating. It reminds us that life is full of fleeting concerns, things that feel monumental in the moment but lose their power over time. The beauty of this question lies in its simplicity, yet it offers profound mental freedom. Will this matter in 5 years? Becomes a guiding principle for prioritizing our concerns and maintaining emotional balance. It helps us distinguish between what's truly significant and what is merely a short-term obstacle or inconvenience. Think about the things that tend to derail your mood on a daily basis. Whether it's a stressful day at work, a disagreement with a friend, or an unexpected problem, these moments often seem bigger than they really are. When viewed from the perspective of 5 years into the future, they lose much of their weight. Consider this. A bad day at work might feel like the end of the world in the moment, But in the grand scheme of things, it's just a tiny blip in a career that spans decades. Similarly, a difficult conversation with a loved one may feel painful now, but 5 years from now, that one moment of tension is likely to be overshadowed by countless other moments of joy, growth, and understanding. The beauty of this question is that it not only helps us minimize our immediate concerns, but also encourages us to focus on what truly matters. What will matter in 5 years? What actions, relationships, and experiences will have a lasting significance in your life? Asking this question regularly pushes us to invest our time and energy wisely. It nudges us to prioritize long-term growth, deep relationships, and meaningful pursuits over temporary frustrations and surface-level concerns. This perspective is not about dismissing or belittling our feelings in the present, but about giving ourselves a wider lens through which to view our lives. From a Stoic perspective, resilience is not just about enduring hardship, but about developing the wisdom to recognize what truly warrants our concern and energy. When we are able to step back and view our current struggles through the lens of time, we gain the ability to remain calm and composed, even in the face of adversity. This perspective allows us to focus on solutions, rather than getting bogged down in the emotions of the moment. In many cases, what seems like a massive problem today will soon be resolved, either through action or simply with the passage of time. Stoicism teaches us that time often brings clarity. When we face difficulties or frustrations, our emotions tend to cloud our judgment, making it hard to see a path forward. However, by asking ourselves whether this situation will still matter in 5 years, we invite the bigger picture into view. This question can shift us from a place of anxiety to one of calm, from dwelling on problems to focusing on problem solving. And when we do this consistently, we find that we're better equipped to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and composure. But this question doesn't just help us minimize our worries. It also helps us prioritize what truly matters. What actions and decisions today will still have an impact in 5 years? What relationships will grow and deepen with time, and which concerns will fade into insignificance? By continually asking this question, we become more mindful of how we allocate our energy, attention, and focus. This reflection can guide us to invest in the things that truly stand the test of time: our relationships, our personal growth, and our sense of purpose. In today's fast-paced, immediate gratification world, it's easy to get caught up in the now, to feel like everything happening at this moment is of the utmost importance. But asking, will this matter in 5 years, acts like a beacon, guiding us toward a life of deeper meaning, perspective, and peace. It encourages us to slow down, take a step back, and ensure that we're directing our attention toward the things that truly count. This Stoic principle reminds us that life is not defined by the small, fleeting problems that occupy our thoughts. Instead, life is shaped by the long-term investments we make in our character, our relationships, and our sense of purpose. By using this question as a regular touchstone, we can navigate the storms of life with greater ease, knowing that many of our present concerns will eventually fade away. So the next time you find yourself overwhelmed or stressed, take a deep breath and ask, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, then it's worth your attention, but now you'll approach it with a clearer perspective and a calmer mind. Lesson 6. Keep a Stoic journal. Throughout history, journaling has been celebrated not just as a record of events, but as a powerful tool for introspection, personal growth, and mental clarity. The ancient Stoics understood the profound value of this practice. For them, keeping a journal wasn't merely about recounting the events of the day. It was about engaging in a dialogue with oneself, reflecting on emotions, decisions, and reactions. In essence, a Stoic journal is where the external world meets the internal mind, a space to dissect experiences, align actions with personal values, and cultivate greater self-awareness. Imagine the end of your day. Rather than just listing what happened, you take the time to reflect on how you responded. Why did a particular comment upset you? What sparked that unexpected moment of joy during an otherwise ordinary task? By dissecting these events, we gain deeper insight into the inner workings of our mind, our emotional triggers, our motivations, and the habits that shape our daily lives. This reflective process helps to see patterns that may have otherwise gone unnoticed and empowers us to make conscious, intentional changes in how we live. One of the most famous examples of Stoic journaling comes from none other than Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. His personal writings, now known as meditations, were never intended for public view. They were his private reflections, written as a way to guide himself through the challenges of life, to remind himself of Stoic principles, and to continually strive for wisdom. In these writings, we see a man grappling with his vast responsibilities, his emotions, and his understanding of his place in the universe. But here's the thing. You don't have to be an emperor to benefit from keeping a Stoic journal. In our modern world, where we are constantly bombarded with information and distractions, the practice of setting aside time for introspection becomes even more essential. Keeping a Stoic journal serves as a daily check-in, a grounding ritual that brings clarity to our thoughts amidst the chaos of everyday life. By regularly reflecting on our experiences, we create a space for stillness and insight, helping us navigate the demands of modern living with a greater sense of purpose and peace. Over time, the patterns that emerge from journaling can provide profound insights. You may start to notice that certain situations repeatedly cause stress, prompting you to either address these issues head-on or to shift your perspective. You might also discover that specific practices, such as expressing gratitude or embracing mindfulness, have a positive impact on your mood and outlook. These recurring patterns serve as a roadmap for personal growth, guiding you toward a life that is more aligned with your values and principles. However, the benefits of Stoic journaling go beyond just insights. It also fosters accountability. By committing to daily reflection, you hold yourself accountable for your thoughts, reactions, and decisions. It becomes harder to ignore repeated mistakes or to brush off lapses in judgment. Instead, journaling prompts you to learn from your experiences, to adapt, and to grow. When you see your thoughts and actions laid out on paper, you become more mindful of the ways in which you may have strayed from your values, and more intentional about correcting course in the future. In essence, keeping a Stoic journal is like having a wise, non-judgmental friend by your side, always ready to listen, to reflect, and to guide. It is a commitment to personal growth, to understanding yourself better, and to living a life that is more in harmony with your deepest values. Through this practice, you create a space where you can regularly assess your progress, confront your weaknesses, and celebrate your strengths. Here's how you can start your own Stoic journaling practice. 1. Set aside time daily. Even just 10 to 15 minutes of dedicated time to reflect on your day can make a significant difference. Whether it's in the morning as a way to set intentions or in the evening as a time for reflection, the key is consistency. 2. Ask reflective questions. What went well today? Where did I struggle? How could I have handled that situation better? What emotions surfaced and why? Asking these kinds of questions helps to turn daily events into opportunities for learning and growth. 3. Focus on Stoic principles. Use your journal as a space to remind yourself of key Stoic principles. For example, you could reflect on the dichotomy of control. Consider what events of the day were within your control and what were not. Or you might focus on dispassion and consider how you can maintain calm in challenging situations. 4. Review your progress. Over time, you can look back on previous entries to see how far you've come. This not only helps you track your growth, but it also reinforces the idea that personal improvement is an ongoing process, one that requires reflection and consistent effort. Remember, your journal is a personal tool, one that's meant to help you engage in an honest dialogue with yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect or profound every day. What matters is that it's genuine. As you continue this practice, you'll find that journaling becomes a form of mental and emotional hygiene, a way to declutter your thoughts and emotions and to continually recalibrate your approach to life. So, why not begin today? Start your own Stoic journal and see how this simple but profound practice can help you navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom, clarity, and peace. And in the process, you'll be following in the footsteps of some of history's greatest minds. Lesson 7. Practice gratitude. In the vast tapestry of human emotions, gratitude stands out as a golden thread that weaves moments of joy, contentment, and perspective into our lives. While it can arise spontaneously in response to life's gifts, the Stoics believed in the deliberate practice of gratitude, making it a daily ritual to ground ourselves in the present and appreciate the abundance that surrounds us. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a deep acknowledgement of the many forces, moments, and people that shape and enrich our lives. It's about recognizing the beauty in the mundane, the lessons within challenges, and the fleeting nature of every experience, which makes each moment even more precious. The Stoic philosopher Seneca beautifully captured this mindset when he said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This sentiment encapsulates the essence of gratitude, being deeply rooted in the present, cherishing every moment, every experience, and every interaction as they come, rather than constantly yearning for what's next or what's missing. Take a moment to consider the simple pleasures we often overlook. The warmth of the sun on a cool day, the sound of laughter shared with friends, the taste of a good meal, or even the simple act of breathing. These everyday blessings often fade into the background of our busy lives, but by pausing to acknowledge and appreciate them, we magnify their beauty and their significance. In doing so, we unlock a deeper sense of contentment and joy. Practicing gratitude also serves as a powerful counterbalance to our natural tendency to focus on what we lack. It's easy to be consumed by unmet desires, frustrations, or uncertainties about the future. The mind gravitates toward problems and dissatisfaction, often leaving us feeling restless or discontent. However, by intentionally shifting our focus to what we already have, rather than what we don't, we cultivate contentment. This simple shift in perspective reduces feelings of envy, resentment, and anxiety, allowing us to experience a sense of inner peace. So how can we cultivate this practice of gratitude in our daily lives? It doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as beginning or ending each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. These can be small moments, like a pleasant conversation, or something as basic as having a roof over your head. Over time, this habit rewires the mind to notice and appreciate more of life's blessings, making gratitude a natural part of your worldview. And here's the remarkable thing. Gratitude not only transforms our internal landscape, but it also strengthens our relationships. By expressing appreciation for the kindness, support, or love we receive from others, we nurture deeper bonds, foster mutual respect, and create a positive feedback loop of goodwill and connection. When we show others that we're grateful for their presence in our lives, we strengthen the ties that bind us, cultivating an environment of warmth and mutual understanding. In a world that often emphasizes the need for more possessions, more achievements, more recognition, gratitude reminds us of the abundance that already exists. It's a call to celebrate the present, to embrace life with open arms, and to walk the path of existence with a heart full of thanks. The Stoics recognize that the constant pursuit of more can lead to dissatisfaction, but gratitude roots us in the now, reminding us that, in many ways, we already have enough. Moreover, gratitude is a practice that makes us resilient in the face of challenges. Life will never be without its hardships, but by focusing on what we have, even amidst difficulty, we maintain our sense of perspective. Gratitude acts as a buffer, shielding us from despair and helping us see that even in tough times, there is still something to be thankful for, whether it's the lessons learned or the people who stand by us. As you navigate your daily life, make space for gratitude. Recognize the simple joys, express appreciation for the people around you, and take time to reflect on all that enriches your existence. The practice of gratitude may seem small, but its effects are profound. It shifts our outlook from lack to abundance, from longing to contentment, and from isolation to connection. As the sun sets on another day, we are left with the echoes of ancient wisdom in our modern world. How will you harness these Stoic lessons to shape your tomorrow? We're eager to hear your thoughts and experiences, so share your insights in the comments below, and let's continue this journey of self-discovery together. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Stoic principles. I'm deeply grateful for your presence and your curiosity. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on our future lessons. And until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and never stop seeking wisdom.